Hare Krishna. I hope the audio is clear. I'm I'm just trying to do the settings. Is the audio clear for everyone?
Yes, Prabhuji. Audio is clear.
Yeah, audio is clear. Fine. So thank you very much and welcome back to the series on Śikṣā every Friday and Saturday. And we decided to keep it in the morning only because many devotees requested it for it. So we will have this series in the morning itself. In the Śikṣā, we are at a particular junction where Mahaprabhu has discussed the Bhakti-lata Bij, how from the Bhakti-lata Bij, Brahmande Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Paye, Bhakti-lata Bij. He attains the Bhakti-lata Bij, and with Shravanadi Jal, the Bhakti-lata Bij goes, crosses this Brahmanda, and ultimately attains the lotus feet of Krishna in Golok Vrindavan and gives the food of Krishna Prem. Paye Prema Phal. But although this Bhakti-lata Bij can give the Krishna Prem Phal, but Kintu. So two things Mahaprabhu warns where the Bhakti-lata Bij may not fructify into the Krishna Prem. And the first one was Yadi Vaishnav Aprad. Kintu Yadi Vaishnav Aprad Hoi Hatiramata. If one commits the mad elephant offense against a Vaishnava, then Uphade, Chinde. It uproots the Bhakti-lata Bij from the root. So this was one warning what Mahaprabhu gives to the sadhakas. The second was the upashakas. Along with the upashakas of the Bhakti-lata, what can happen? There, with the Shravanadi Jal, along with the Bhakti-lata, there are the upashakas which can grow. And these upashakas are Jivahimsa, Kutinati, Nisiddhachar, Pratisthasha, all these anarthas which are there. They can also grow and sometimes stun the Bhakti-lata creeper, and the upashakas can grow. Then also this Bhakti-lata creeper cannot grow and fructify into Krishna Prem. So these are the two major obstacles for the Bhakti-lata to grow and ultimately give the fruit of Krishna Prem. Sometimes I give this example just to make the point clear. And this example is to be taken in a context to understand this particular discussion which is happening in Rūpa Śikṣā. The father impregnates the mother with the semen, and within the semen there is the bija in the form of the spirit soul, which is like a karna. And within 7 days it forms a pea, and then slowly the development of the embryo happens in the womb of the mother. And within 7 months, all the limbs of the child are developed within the womb. And the consciousness of the child is revived in that body, and he is able to now experience the pains and the difficulties he is going through in the womb. And in the 9th month, the mother delivers the child. So there are two major reasons where the mother might not be able to deliver the child. There are two major reasons. So I compare this, the mother delivering the child is the Bhakti Lata beej, which is sown in the heart. That is the field, and giving this seed which is sown in the heart will one day blossom, grow, and ultimately give rise to bhava and then prema. So similarly, the seed which is impregnated in the womb by the husband will ultimately bear the child. The mother will bear the child and ultimately deliver the child after 9 months. So there are two reasons where the child will not be delivered. That means the child will not be born. So what are the two reasons? Which are the two reasons which can happen where the child is not born? What are the two reasons? Anyone would like to answer? Can raise their hands. Which are the two reasons? Sorry. Let me. I'm not able to. Yeah, okay. Yes, there are 3 hands which are raised. Let me give first chance to Manoj. Yes, Manoj Prabhuji.
The Krishna Prabhu Dandat Pranam.
Yes.
Prabhuji, the first reason is Vaishnava Aparadh.
Yeah, what? Yeah, that is Vaishnava. But what in the comparison with the mother carrying the child in the womb? What is it? What it actually constitutes? There are 2 reasons where the mother might not deliver the child. So first you said is Vaishnava Aparadh. Yes, that is in our understanding, but in the actual scenario with the mother carrying the child in the womb, what exactly can happen where the mother will not deliver the child?
The kana is not powerful.
You can say that the kana is powerful. It has formed a embryo and the child is growing in the womb.
If the during the pregnancy, if the care and treatment is not proper, it's not well.
Okay.
It will not give the fruitful result.
Okay. Then what is any other reason by which the mother won't bear the child or deliver the child?
If something abnormal things is happening during the pregnancy time, which is not supposed to happen to the mother or to the body of the mother.
Okay. Dr. Archana Mataji, what you would like to say? Which are the 2 reasons the mother will not deliver the child?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes.
Yeah, as far as my medical knowledge goes, I will try to apply with our spirituality.
Yes.
If the beach is not healthy, and as Prabhuji said, if there are congenital anomalies, nature would not keep that child in the womb. Secondly, the womb itself is not strong to hold the child. Weakness of the uterine.
Okay. Let me clarify. All these other factors, like the the seed is potent, and the mother is bearing the seed in her womb. The child is developing in the womb. It is growing in the womb, and she is about to deliver the child within few months. But there can be some activities by the mother by which she will not deliver the child. She can do 2 kinds of activities by which she will not deliver the child. Which are the 2 reasons now? I think now it's more clear and specific.
No, Prabhuji, it's not Not able to. Yeah.
Okay, one. Okay, let's see what Parsarthi has to say. Parsarthi?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandat pranam. Prabhuji, I think there are two reasons. There can be abortion or
Yes.
injury. Something the mother does.
What exactly is the term used in the medical language or even in English? What do you say for that? The mother has a what?
So the baby will be stillborn.
Baby will be?
Stillborn. Die within the womb.
Yeah, what is it called? What is the reason that can happen? What is it called?
I don't know.
Miscarriage. Miscarriage. So there are two reasons where the mother will not be able to deliver the child. The two major reasons are if the mother herself aborts the womb first, and the second is if she has a miscarriage because of some negligence. She eats some wrong kind of food, she does some wrong kind of activity. Mothers are told, they should not do the grinding mortar activity while carrying the child in the womb. So I compare these two reasons of abortion. The mother herself decides to abort the womb, and the miscarriages, the wrong kinds of activities, to these two factors which Mahaprabhu has spoken. One is Vaishnava Aprad. Vaishnava Aprad is like aborting the child. It's so dangerous. So the Bhakti Lata is growing in our heart. Slowly the Bhakti Lata is growing. And if you commit Vaishnava Aprad, it is like aborting the child. So deadly is the Vaishnava Aprad. And the second one is if you don't follow the rules and regulations properly of devotional service, and you're not taking care of the Bhakti Lata and avoiding the Upashakas, rules and regulations, Updeshamrit speaks about it. The 6 things that can destroy our bhakti. Shad bhakti pratikul, atyahara prayasa, and then Shad anukul, bhakti anukul, that is utsaha nishchay. So like that, if you don't follow these rules and regulations and carefully nurture the bhakti lata and avoid the upashakas, then also it is like miscarriage. So just like the mother who is carrying the seed in the form of the child in the womb, and within 9 months she will deliver the child. Similarly, Brahmande Brahmite koinu bhagyavan jeev, Guru Krishna prasade paye Bhakti Lata Bij. We are all having the Bhakti Lata Bij now. Now, one thing which I would like to clarify here, and you should note this point very carefully. The Bhakti Lata Bij is pure, composed of pure faith. Faith in the scriptures, faith in the Guru Shish Parampara, faith in the process, that is the Bhakti process, Shravanadi, Navida Bhakti, or the 64 limbs of devotional service. So we begin the process of devotional service, that is by the Shravanadi Jal. But the Bhakti Lata is, covered or coated with some impurities. That is Anyabhilashita Shunyam, Jnana Karmadya Anavritam. These are the Gauna Lakshans. We will come to this maybe from tomorrow onwards when we discuss the definition of pure devotional service. So the Bhakti Lata, although we are cultivating, it is not pure devotion we are cultivating, it is Mishra Bhakti, because still our heart is having no other desire except the desire to serve Krishna. There are so many desires, unlimited desires filled in our heart. But with the process of chanting, we are doing Chaitodarpanarajan and the purification is happening. So the Bhakti Lata, in one sense, is not completely pure. It is covered with Anya Bhilashita and Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. We are practicing devotional service in a favorable way, to please Krishna. And Anushilanam means to do continuous actions with body, minds, and words. So continuous means 24 hours. So even this criteria sometimes we cannot fulfill. So there is the Sarup Lakshan, that is Anukulena and Anushilanam, and the Tatastha Lakshan. The Tatastha Lakshan are Anya Bilashita Shunyam and Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. As we practice devotion service and as we hear the scriptures, our faith is increasing in the path of bhakti. When this faith matures and comes to the stage where one is a Madhyamadikari and one understands Shastra and practices bhajan continuously, and he surrenders completely to Krishna, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, then his bhajan intensifies, the anarthas are removed, like the Anya Bilashita, happens in one sense. Then the Bhakti Lata becomes pure. So the Bhakti Lata becomes pure almost at the stage of Asakti. Till then, there is Mishran, because Anya Bilashita can be there, or Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. Our bhakti can be covered by karma, because when we are doing any other action, if there is no remembrance of Krishna, then that action is karma. Because that karma, like we are doing our work for maintaining our family or our job, whatever we are doing, while doing the job, if we are in consciousness that I am doing this job for my master, who is Krishna, and he is at my home, he is my master, I am maintaining him, and for his pleasure I am doing this work. If we are doing in this consciousness, then the actions, whatever you are doing, are not covered. But if the remembrance of Krishna is not there, we are not in this consciousness, then there is karma avrat. It becomes covered. So till then the Bhakti Lata is not pure. So almost till the stage of Asakti, the Bhakti Lata is adulterated. But after that stage, that is unadulterated. And in Bhava and Prema, it is completely pure. So this pure devotion, in one sense, begins from the liberated platform. Prabhupada makes it very, very clear. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti labate param. So the para bhakti begins when you are at the Brahma Bhuta platform. That means you are a self-realized soul. Madhyamadikari means one who's at the stage of Nishtha. So from the stage of Nishtha, actually one starts practicing, cultivating Raganuga Bhakti. And in this practice of Raganuga Bhakti, slowly the impurities are almost gone. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. The impurities are almost gone, and slowly with the Raganuga Bhakti maturing at the stage of Ruchi and especially at the stage of Asakti, then the Bhakti Lata is in its pure form. And then actually we are practicing Uttama Bhakti. So this is a very important point which I wanted to clarify. So any questions regarding this? You can raise your hands. Any questions, any clarifications? Up till now, what we have discussed. No? Okay. So then we will begin our discussion from Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta. So we have seen this chapter, this theme, that is the creeper of devotional service. After Mahaprabhu discusses Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Ata Eva Shanta. Krishna Bhakta, he is Nishkam, he is having no other desire, that is why he is Shant. So this Krishna Bhakta Nishkam is a pure devotee. We came to that discussion and conclusion. So the second part is how one comes to this level of pure devotion. It all begins with the creeper Bhakti Lata, and we saw this Bhakti Lata creeper discussion from 151 to 165, Brahmande Brahmite, and then we saw this stages of faith development, and the beach is sown in the heart, and with the Shravanadi, the Bhakti Lata grows with the Shravanadi, and it crosses the Brahmanda, Upajaya Bade Lata, Brahmanda Bedhyaya, and then crosses the Viraja, Brahmalok, and reaches the Vaikunta, and attains ultimately Golok Vrindavan, and gives the fruit in the form of Krishna Prem. And then after giving this Krishna Prem, then the two reasons are mentioned what can happen in the cultivation of the Bhakti Lata. Yadi Vaishnava Paradute Hatimata. So we discussed this also in one class, and how the Avaran is the association of devotees. And there are the Upashakas, Bhukti Mukti Vancha. So the Bhukti Mukti Vanchas also, we can all understand via practicing sadhana bhakti, still the desire to enjoy is there, gross or subtle. And Mukti Vancha is also there in one sense. So the Mukti Vancha becomes completely, we become free from it when we reach the stage of Bhava. That's why one of the characteristics of Bhava Bhakti is Moksha Laguta Krit. Moksha Laguta Krit means it makes liberation completely insignificant. So till then, these anarthas are there for mukti, but while cultivating devotional service, the devotee never should desire liberation. So these are the upashakas, which we also had a discussion in one entire class. Now let us further continue the discussion in text. Sorry, we lost the connection. Always internet, some of the other issue can be there. Pratame upashakar kare chedan. Oh, the battery is down of the dongle. Let me charge it. That's why we lost the connection. Okay. He must cut it down instantly. Kare chedan. Then the real creeper. So the unwanted creeper are upashaka. Excuse me. The unwanted creepers are the upashakas. And the real creeper is the bhaktilata. The bhaktilata grows nicely. Tabe moola shaka bade. Yae Vrindavan. Returns home back to Godhead and seeks shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna. So although there is this example given here of the upashakas and the mool shaka, which we graphically can see in a garden where there is the rose plant and then there are other unwanted creepers. But generally, in the actual reality, along with the cultivation of the bhaktilata, these upashakas are one which are covering actually the bhaktilata. If we have any other desires other than the desire to serve Krishna, it's like the bhaktilata is covered. It is covered. It is not pure. It is adulterated. It is not ananya bhakti or uttama bhakti you are practicing. You are practicing mixed devotion. You are not practicing pure devotion. You are practicing mixed devotion. Like in the Bhagavad Gita, there is Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritino arjuno artho jigyasur artharti jnani cha bhartar. Artho means practicing devotion with the desire to become free from distress, or arthati means to practice with the desire to attain wealth. So we might be not consciously doing this cultivation of sadhana bhakti with the sole intention that I should become rich or I should go to heaven and enjoy. But these anarthas are there in the heart. And while cultivation of devotional service, these anarthas, as long as they are there, then the bhaktilata is not in its pure form. It is adulterated. That's the point which I was also trying to explain. Now, Prabhupada in his purport, if one is misled by unwanted creepers and is victimized, he cannot make progress back to Godhead. So these are like obstacles, anarthas. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his Madhurya Kadamini elaborates quite extensively, doing very finite analysis, you can say, about these anarthas. He says that there are 4 types of anarthas in the stage of anarth nivritti which we come across. One is called as Sukruta Ut Anartha. The second one is called as Dushkruta Utta. And the third is Aparad Utta. And the fourth is Bhakti Utta. Bhakti Utta. So there are 4 types of anarthas which are like obstacles. The Sukruta Utta means if somebody has done a lot of pious activities in his previous life by which he has attained a lot of wealth. So in this life, although he has taken up to the practice of devotional service, but because he has a lot of wealth, he can sometimes become enchanted by that wealth, or he is having a big business enterprise and he is running this enterprise and he is not able to focus on his sadhana. So because of Sukruti, it can act as an obstacle, anartha. Dushkruti means if somebody has done sinful activities in this past life, so he's suffering because of his sinful activities. And while practicing devotional service, because of the suffering coming from the past lives, reactions, he is not able to practice his bhajan. So because of Dushkruta Ut Anarthas, it can act as obstacle. The third is Aparad Uttha, because of committing offenses. Even in this life and the previous lives also, we might have committed offenses that also act as obstacles. And the fourth is Bhakti Utta. With the cultivation of Bhakti, Bhakti, because it is Sakshat Swarup of the Lord. It is the Swarup Shakti of the Lord. Bhakti Devi is residing in the heart, so the devotee becomes attractive. Puja, Labh, Pratishta all start coming. And he starts taking pleasure in these fringe activities, which are like the waves in the ocean, Taranga Rangini they are called. And he starts neglecting going deeper into devotion, into his bhajan. So he starts floating in these waves and takes pleasure. So these are, bhakti utta anarthas. So these are the 4 types of anarthas which are like obstacles in the path of devotion. So among these 4, Sukrita Uttha, Dushkrita Uttha, Aparadha Uttha, and Bhakti Uttha. Which is the most dangerous one? Everyone knows, but still I would like to know. Among these 4, which is the most dangerous obstacle which is, in our practice of devotional service? Among these 4, which one? I'll repeat: Sukrita Uttha, Dushkrita Uttha, Aparadha Uttha, and Bhakti Uttha. Yes, Parsati Prabhuji.
Aparadha Uttha. Aparadha Uttha Anartha.
Aparadha Uttha Anartha. So Aparadha Uttha Anartha, and this Aparadha includes Vaishnava Aparadha and the Dashanam Aparadha, the 10 offenses. So that's why we have to be very, very careful that we don't commit the 10 offenses while chanting the holy name, especially the offense of inattention. So with the practice of devotion, Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu. The Sukrita Uttha and Dushkrita Uttha are almost pride destroyed at the stage of Nishta. But the Aparadha Uttha are completely, almost 95% or 99% destroyed at the stage of Bhava only. Till the stage of Bhava, they are there. And in the stage of Prema, they completely destroyed. And Bhakti Uttha, with the practice of bhajan and anarth nivritti happening Nishta, with the stage of Asakti, they are completely destroyed. So the destruction of all these anarthas at different stages also, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur discusses there. But because this point came, I just discussed this elaborately. Rather, he remains within the material world and engages in activities having nothing to do with pure devotional service. So mark Prabhupada's purport. As long as, these unwanted creepers are there, one remains in the material world and he is not engaging in pure devotional service, Prabhupada is saying. Such a person may be elevated to the higher planetary systems, but because he remains within the material world, he is subjected to the 3-fold miseries. So if one throughout his lifetime chants Namaprad and doesn't come to the stage of Namabhas and Shuddhanam, Namaprad, one chants, one can get, the phala in the form of even heavenly enjoyment. By chanting Namabhas, one gets liberation and he becomes free from all the sins. But only by chanting Shuddhanam, one can attain Krishna Prem and go back to Golok Vrindavan. So we should, as quickly as possible, cross the Namaprad stage of chanting. Yes, there is one question. Yes, Dr. Archana Mataji.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I have one query related to Sukrita Uttha Anartha. Since I am a
Yes.
medical professional, and if I am delivering my services or rendering my services to the my patients with the Krishna centric with the motive of a Krishna centric thing, so will it fall under Sukrita Uttha, or it will take me to the what you call karma without expecting the fruits of action?
Okay. there are many finer aspects to this, which we cannot go into now. But let me make it clear in a general sense that the duty of whatever we are doing, like whatever, because of our conditioned state to maintain the body, we have to do some kind of a job or activity by which we earn to maintain our livelihood. Now, in what consciousness we do this? I do my job so that I can earn money with the desire to earn money and enjoy that money. If this is there, this is the lower stage. I do my job as a duty. I'm not so much concerned with the fruit which is coming, but I'm duty conscious. This is another level. I do my duty with a consciousness that ultimately I do it in a very detached way for the pleasure of Krishna. Ultimately, for the pleasure of Krishna, because ultimately in my body, the soul is residing, along with the soul, the Paramatma is residing. So to maintain my body and the Lord who is residing in my heart, I'm doing my duties. And the Lord is residing in my home also. So to maintain the Lord at home and the Lord's family members who are there, they are not my family members, they are Lord's family members. And I have been given as a duty of a role as a mother. And I have to play that role. At the same time, I have to understand that they are all part and parcels of Krishna, and I have to maintain them. So in this kind of a consciousness, when one does his duty, he's not attaining sukriti, pious credits by which he'll get pious reactions, but he is doing his duty in a favorable way, which will help him in cultivating directly core devotional activities. See, the core devotional activities, what we do is direct devotional activities. The direct devotional activities are, Shravanam Kirtanam, like we are hearing and chanting Krishna Katha now, the deity worship, or the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. These are direct core devotional activities. These are the constitutional activities of the soul. But there are conditional activities. Conditional activities are meant for the activities based on our nature and to maintain our livelihood, to maintain our body. Now, the conditional activities, which are called as the Gaun Vritti, the secondary activities, have to be cultivated in such a way that they are favorable to the cultivation of the Mukhya Vritti or the constitutional activities. So if the conditional activities are done in this kind of a consciousness, then they are very, very favorable for the cultivation of pure devotional service. Is it clear, Mataji? Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji, 100% clear. Very clear. Thank you.
Yeah. This is a very elaborate topic, and we will be having a separate series of seminars on what is pure devotional service and what is mixed devotional service. And that time we can more elaborately discuss on this topic also. But just a gist I gave in this discussion. Okay. Prema phala pake pade mali aswadana latavalambi mali kalpa vriksha paye. When the fruit of devotional service becomes ripe and falls down, prema phala pake pade mali aswadan, the gardener takes the fruit and thus takes advantage of the creeper Lata Avalambi Mali and reaches the desired tree of the lotus feet of Krishna in Golok, Vrindavan, Kalpa Vriksha Pai. So, sadhana bhakti will lead to sadhya bhakti. Sadhana bhakti will lead to sadhya bhakti. Sadhya bhakti is bhava bhakti. So the sadhana bhakti is compared to the unripe mango. And when we practice sadhana bhakti, the limbs of sadhana bhakti, just like an unripe mango, when it stays in the mango tree, with the passage of time, it will become ripe. And then it is very, very tasty. Similarly, sadhana bhakti, with the two characteristics of devotion which manifest in sadhana bhakti, that is kleshagni and shubhada, sadhana bhakti will become ripe into sadhya bhakti. So this is also the definition of sadhana bhakti. Kriti sadhyat bhave sadhya sa sadhana vidha nitya siddhasya bhavasya prakattam vriddhi sadhyata. Kriti sadhyat, action of the senses. I mean, in sadhana bhakti, we engage our senses in Krishna service. Rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti uchyate. Kriti sadhyat bhave sadhya, by which we attain sadhya bhakti. By which we attain sadhya bhakti. Sadhya bhakti is bhava bhakti. Sa sadhana vida, that is called as sadhana bhakti. So, the unripe mango and the ripe mango. The ripe mango is when one attains bhava, especially bhava, and then it further ripens into prema. Tahan se kalpa vrikshar kare sevan, suke prema phala rasa kare aswadan. There, tahan, the devotee serves the lotus feet of the Lord, which is compared to a wish-fulfilling tree. Say kalpa vrikshar kare sevan. With great bliss, suke, he tastes the juice of the fruit of love. Prema phala ras kare aswadan, becomes eternally happy. So now we are practicing sadhana bhakti. We are experiencing some happiness in Krishna consciousness. And that's why we are still sticking to Krishna consciousness. Somewhere in one festival, during the kirtan or during one yatra, while chanting or while hearing Krishna Katha, we were experiencing a kind of happiness which was not any of the happiness of this material world. That happiness, just that glimpse of happiness, what we have experienced is what is sustaining our sadhana bhakti right now. But as we practice sadhana bhakti and sadhana bhakti matures into sadhya bhakti, that is bhava bhakti, then especially prema bhakti. In prema bhakti, two more characteristics of pure devotional appear, that is Shri Krishna Karshani and Sandharananda Visheshatma. Intense condensed bliss. So Sukhe Prema Phala Ras. So now you can relish pure devotional service. Intense bliss. So in sadhana stage, bhukti mukti vancha are there. And that's why Rūpa Goswami compares this bhukti mukti vancha pishi, pishachi, yavat ridhi vartate. As long as in the heart the desires for bhukti and mukti are there, it is like a pishachi. And as long as this pishachi is there, katam bhakti sukh. How can you relish pure devotion? How can you relish happiness, bliss of pure devotion? So till the anarth nivritti has not happened and one has not reached the stage of bhava, till then the bhukti and mukti vanchas are there, and that's why we are not able to fully relish and taste the nectar of pure devotion. But as this stage we cross, then we can sukhe prema phala rasa kare aswadan. Okay, let us see what Prabhupada has to say. The word tahan indicates that in the spiritual world, one tastes the juice of the fruit of devotional service and thus becomes blissful. So here is a very important point to be noted. Tahan, Prabhupada says, in the spiritual world. But it also means the devotee who is here in the material world, but he has attained prema. He is here, but actually is not here. He is there in the spiritual world, in fact. So he's there in the spiritual world, but he's just here just to give his association. He has attained, by sadhana, he's attained siddhi. So he is actually doing his devotional service in the spiritual world. In fact, bhakti activities are not of this material world, they are of the spiritual world only. But we don't have that realization. So he's actually serving in the spiritual world and he's tasting the fruit of devotional service and he's blissful. Aite parama phala parama purshartha yandra age trinatulya chari purshartha. To taste the fruit of devotional service in Golok Vrindavan is the perfection of life. Parama phala, parama purshartha. And in such presence of such perfect, and in the presence of such perfection, the four material perfections, Yandra age, Chari Purushartha, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, religion, economic development, sense gratification, liberation, are very insignificant achievements. Trinatulya, they are compared to a blade of a grass. They are Trinatulya. The highest achievement, Prabhupada, attained by the Gyanis or impulsionists is becoming one with the Supreme, generally known as moksha or liberation. The highest achievements of the yogis are the 8 material perfections such as anima, lagima, and prapti. Yet these are nothing compared to the eternal bliss of the devotee who returns back to Godhead and tastes the fruit of devotional service to the lotus feet of the Lord. The material perfections, even up to the point of liberation, are very insignificant in comparison. Therefore, the pure devotee is never interested in such things. His only interest is in perfecting his devotional service to the Lord. The pleasure of the impersonalist, monist philosophers is condemned in the following verse, which is also found in Srila Rupa Goswami's Lalita Madhava. Riddha Siddhi Vraja Vijayata Satya Dharma Samadhi Brahmanando Gururapi Chamatkaryatyaeva Tavat Yavat Premnam Madhurupi Vashikar Siddhau Sadinam Andopyantakarna Sarani Patatamna Prayati. As long as there is not the slightest fragrance of pure love of Krishna, Gandopi, Gandha means the slight fragrance, which is the perfect medicinal herb for controlling Lord Krishna. Aushadhi, it is like Aushadhi, Madhurupi Vashikara, which can control Krishna. The opulences of material perfections known as the Siddhis, Riddhi Siddhi, the Brahminical perfections, Satya, Sama, Titiksha, and so on, Satya, Dharma, Samadhi, the trance of the yogis, and the monistic bliss of Brahman all seem wonderful for men. Brahmananda Guru api chamatkaratya eva tavat. Tavat means till then, all these seem wonderful. Till the gandha of prema, which is pure love, which can control even Krishna, has not yet manifested in the heart, all these other things look, very wonderful. So this is a quote which is given in the next verse of Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta. Prabhupada purport. There are different types of perfections known as Siddha Vraja, and also perfections for achieving Brahminical qualifications, yogic trance, and merging into the Supreme. All these material perfections are certainly very attractive for a mundane person, but their brilliance exists only as long as one does not take to devotional service. Devotional service can control the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the supreme controller of all universal affairs. The 5 rasas in the transcendental world are practiced by the inhabitants of Golok Vrindavan in neutrality, servitorship, friendship, parental affection, and conjugal love. Mahaprabhu came us to give us these 4 rasas, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya, and especially Mahaprabhu came us to give this highest rasa, which is the Madhurya ras. All these please the Lord so much that he is controlled by the devotees. For instance, Mother Yashoda was so advanced in devotional service that Krishna agreed to be controlled by her stick. In other words, the 5 principal mellows are so great and glorious that they are able to control the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the material world, however, the so-called siddhis or perfections manifest their brightness only as long as one is not interested in devotional service. In other words, the perfection of the karmis, jnanis, yogis and others remains attractive only as long as one does not come to the point of devotional service, which is so great and significant that it can control the Supreme Controller, Krishna. So, this is the ultimate follower, that is the Panchama Purusharth, Krishna Prem. And before them, these 4 Purusharthas, especially moksha, is also completely insignificant. And we saw the reference for this. Now, having discussed the creeper of pure devotional service, the next theme is the symptoms of pure devotional service. So this we will take up in the next class tomorrow. We will discuss first Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu definition of pure devotional service given by Rūpa Goswami and Jiva Goswami, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur and Prabhupada's commentary on that, Prabhupada's summary study points on that. And then we will go to actually the symptoms discussed in the Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Rūpa Goswami. So because we need to know the definition of pure devotional service, so that's why we will first go into Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and discuss that quite elaborately, and then we'll go, simultaneously follow the discussion in Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta. So tomorrow onwards, we will begin with this definition of pure devotional service. Yes, Par Sarthi has a question. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, what is the different Brahmanical perfections?
Different
What are
Brahmanical
the different
perfections.
Brahmanical perfections?
Shama, Dhamma. Shama, Dhamma is, control of the mind and senses. Satya. Satya means to speak the truth. So all the qualities of the Brahmanas which are mentioned in the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, if we can attain that, these are also like kind of siddhis. To speak truth is also a siddhi. So these kind of siddhis attained by Brahmanical practices, these are also kind of siddhis, and that is also surpassed by pure devotional service. That's what was the point being made there. Yes, Manoj Prabhuji, you have a question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhu, can you one more time explain that 4th anartha, that the Bhakti Utta anartha?
Bhakti Utta anartha. Bhakti Utta anartha means the anarthas which stem out of the practice of devotion. So as one practices devotion, as one engages in bhajan, slowly there are 6 stages in bhajan kriya which we go through, by which the anarthas are slowly destroyed. So the first stage is called as utsamai, where one is very enthusiastic. It's a beginning of devotional life. That is so-called enthusiasm. It's not real enthusiasm. So then there is Ghana Tarala. One is very enthusiastic. He chants his 16 rounds for a few days, every day in the morning. But then it becomes Tarala. Next day he cannot get up. He's struggling to chant because his heart is not pure. So he's going through these purifications. Then there is Vyud Vikalpa. Vyud Vikalpa means the mind, the intelligence oscillates in his determination whether I should do my bhajan in Vrindavan, leave family and countlessly engage in devotional service, or stay in the family and perfect my life. All these types of oscillating thoughts are going on. And then there is Utsamaya, Ghanatarala, Vyuda Vikalpa, Vishaya Sangara. He is battling with the senses with the practice of devotional service. the senses and sense objects battle is going on. Niyamakshama, he takes a vow that Kartik, I will not eat sweets. I'll chant every day 64 rounds. But then he cannot maintain his vows because he lacks the determination, lacks the purity of heart. And then the last is, Taranga Rangini. In Taranga Rangini, he is floating in the fringe benefits of bhakti, which he's at a very elevated stage of purification. And because bhakti is very attractive, devotees are attracted to him, devotees offer respect to him, and devotees hear from him. So all these fringe benefits, what he's getting, his attention is getting diverted to that, and he is not going deep into devotion and diving deep into the ocean and trying to get gems there. He's not going deep into the bhakti rasa, and he is now taking rasa in the form of pleasure, in the form of puja, la, pratishta. So these are the anarthas which have arisen or stemmed out of bhakti. So these anarthas one also has to cross through. So that is what is called as the bhakti utta anarthas. Is it clear, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu. Very, very clear. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Yes. Any other questions? Any other clarifications? Okay, then we will stop here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta ki jai.